Hey everyone, it's Jill the Wandering Stamper. I hope you're having a fabulous day today. We are going to play with the very cute Round We Go stamps and dies to create a really fun accordion double fold card. I had to look and see what it was called. Sometimes I forget those names. But I wanted to share that with you. It's so cool, and when you use the Full of Life Designer Series paper, you get an extra wow factor in your card. So give me a moment to turn down the camera. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's get started. So first of all, can we talk about how cool this stamp set is? I love this stamp set. It's a lot of fun. I couldn't wait to play with it once I got it. The Round We Go bundle comes with, of course, these awesome stamps and then these dies. And the dies are super cool. Now I've put mine on a piece of magnet because it's just easier for me, and I keep them right in the stamp boxes. But it comes with this really cool die here that creates pinwheels. And then you've got these other pinwheels that cut out the stamped images. And then these other dies that can create shapes. And there's just so much you can do with them. So I'm having a lot of fun playing around with this. So that's why I decided we needed to play with these stamps today. And let me just show you. These are the dies for the smaller of the pinwheels. And what I did is I die cut 6 pieces, different colors, and then just staggered the dies together and created these really cool pinwheels. Look at this. I mean, they're just so neat. You could bend them up. You can make flowers out of them. These are little extra pieces that I keep in the box, but I just used a little adhesive on the middle part and glued the 2 layers together to make different colored pinwheels. How fun is that? So this is a really fun set to use. So we're going to be using that. I'm going to be using some glossy dots that I have as embellishments. We're going to use this gorgeous, gorgeous Full of Life Designer Series paper. If you haven't seen this paper, oh, it's gorgeous. I've already gone through 1 pack. This is my 2nd pack, and I have a 3rd pack waiting. So I see myself using that a lot. We're also going to be using these 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper along with some crushed curry cardstock to create our card. So I just kind of wanted to show you what we're going to be using today. And then we are also going to be using some coordinating stamp pads. So I grabbed a variety. I grabbed blueberry bushel, crushed curry, berry burst, lemon lime twist, and balmy blue. These are all colors. As you can see, this paper just has so many colors in it. So I wanted to use lots of colors in my card. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this really cool card. This is ultimately what it's going to look like when it's done. Look at this. This pinwheel is crazy, right? And now watch. Look at this card. So this card sits up really cool, and it has so many colors. We've got lots of sayings. It all folds back nice and compact, and then there's plenty of room on the back to write. So this is what we're creating today, and I'm ready to show you how, so I hope you're ready to learn. So let me get everything close to me. So I'm going to grab my paper cutter out. We're going to put a little bit of stamp cleaner on my cleaning pad, get that ready, because I always forget to do that ahead of time. All right, so now we're ready. So we're going to start out creating our card base. We're going to have 2 card bases. We're going to have our main card base, and then we're going to have our accordion card base. So to make the main card base, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that's 5.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So 5.5. The beauty of this is you use 1 full sheet of paper for the whole card, which I love when that works out. So once you have 5.5, I'm just going to cut 1.5 inches off because I know it is an 11-inch sheet of paper and we only need 9.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut it off that way. You could also swing your arm out and cut 9.5 inches. Now we're going to do some scoring. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2 5/8 inch on each side of the paper. So I'm going to score 1/2 inch and then 2 5/8. The great thing about the Stampin' Up cutter is it's so easy to do this because they put measurements on everything. And even the arm is clear, so it's just super easy to cut everything. Love this cutter. I've had other cutters and this is far best. So we've got a 1/2 inch and 2 5/8 inch, 2 5/8 inch, 1/2 inch. So you're doing the same thing on each side of the paper. All right, we're going to set that aside a second. And then the accordion card base is 3 inches, which voila, we had 3 inches left on our sheet of paper, by 10 5/8. So I'm going to swing that arm out and cut it 10 5/8. It just cuts a little piece off. All right, and now we're going to do some scoring. Move that cutting blade down. Now on this piece, we're going to score at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4 on each end. So I'm going to do 2 1/8, 4 1/4, flip it around, and then do it again. 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. All right, just like that. So you've got 5 equal little pieces there. All right, we're going to set that aside, and I'm just going to tell you what else you need because I didn't want to have all that cutting on camera for you to wait on. So you're going to need 4 panels. I did mine in basic white, and they're going to be 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So we've got 4 of those. Those are going to go on the main base. Then you've got a piece for the back to write your message. That's going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. Then we've got, if you want, this is totally optional, but if you want to put a layer behind your designer series paper in the center, you'll do a second 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch piece. Then you have your panels that go on top of those pieces. You're going to have your panels. They're going to be slightly smaller. So you're going to do, I like to choose 2 different designs. So I'm using these 2 designs. So you're going to do 2 that are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then another 2 that are 1 7/8 and 5 1/4. Okay, so you have 4 altogether. If you choose to do one designer series paper for everything, then just do 4 of those. But that's all you need there. And then finally, you need the center piece, which measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be layered on that white piece that we cut. All right, and then for the accordion, the middle, this piece right here, the smaller accordion base, you're going to need 5 pieces of, I use basic white, and that is going to be 2 inches by 2 7/8 inches. And then depending on what you want to do, you're going to need either 5 or 2, as I did here, pieces of designer series paper. And these are 1 7/8 by 2 3/4. So I'm actually doing 1 on each end, and then I'm stamping on 3 of these. So I'm not going to be cutting 4 or 5 of these. I'm just needing 2. But you can change that up for whatever you're creating. So those are the measurements. And then the we're ready to assemble actually. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our base. So remember, we cut a 1/2 inch and 2 5/8 inch on each end. So I'm going to fold that up. Let me grab my bone folder. Let's go ahead and get the take your pick tool out and a pair of scissors. We're going to need that, and we're going to need a pencil. So I've got everything out. So I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder to give it a good crease. And then I'm going to fold this little 1/2 inch out. Okay, so you've got a mountain fold and a valley fold, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. We're going to do a valley, and then the little piece is going to be a mountain. If I can grab it here. Kind of working a little quickly today. My husband went to go take the truck for an oil change, and I'm hoping he'll be gone long enough to get this video done. If not, you may hear him come in the door. But we're going on a camping trip up in the mountains tomorrow with our oldest daughter, and we wanted to make sure that got done. So there is our main card base. Super simple, right? So let's go ahead and do some layering on that so we can get those pieces out of the way. So I'm going to grab our 4 pieces of designer series paper we cut and our 4 panels. We'll work with those first. So What I'm going to do is go ahead and layer that designer series paper. Let's get rid of my little goober on my glue. We're going to layer that paper together, and then we're going to put those on our card base. So I'm just putting, I should get my silicone mat out. Don't have it out. I was trying not to pull out too much stuff because I've got to kind of batten down the hatches for moving tomorrow when we go to the campground. And sometimes I make myself crazy when I do that. Let me get that out. I have made some messes lately, so I need to use that. All right, so there's one. And I'm just going to quickly get the rest of these all layered, and I'm also going to layer the piece for the inside. All right, so let's go and do that. Okay, so I've layered all of my pieces. So here is the front of the card, and here are the insides. So that's done for now. We're not going to do the back yet because we want to do some stamping. So now we're going to grab, this is the inside panel. So we're going to fold that in and out like an accordion. So you've got a mountain fold and a valley fold, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold this piece in and this piece out. So we've got another mountain and valley, okay? So it goes like this. All right, so now we can go ahead and glue 2 of the layers on, and the other 3, actually, did I not cut enough? Missing one? Oh, no, it's hiding 3. So we're stamping on these 3. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these on here with liquid glue. I've been working with liquid glue mostly lately because I've enjoyed so much this little glue gun, and the fact that I can make my glue go so much further by putting out the exact stream that I need from this. And also I can refill these bottles, which is great. I use my Stampin' Up! Glue, but I just refill the bottles whenever they get low. It'll hold 2 or 3 bottles of liquid glue, and because it's got this little stand, it keeps all the glue where it needs to be right here, because it sits like this, and there's this little silicone thing inside that keeps the tip from drying out while I'm working, and it even holds the lid to the glue. So love this thing. I have a link to it. It's not anything I'm affiliated with. I just absolutely love it. It's from the website My Sweet Petunia, and I use it all the time now. So I'm just layering this little piece on the outside edge, okay, and then I'm going to put the other one on the opposite edge. This card comes together really quickly depending on how intricate your decorating is. This card is just so cool. It's worth the extra time to do all the stamping that's on it. Okay, so that's on there. So these 2 pieces are on here. The white panels are going to go here. So we're going to go ahead and do some stamping now. And move this out of the way and grab some scrap paper, which I did not have out. All right, fresh piece of scrap paper today. All right, so we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to put these 2 out of the way, and I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to do this card exactly like I did my first sample, just to keep it easy for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this smaller of the pinwheels. Love these stamps. So I'm going to grab that, and then we're going to grab some wording, and I'm kind of creating sort of a scene with the wording. So I'm going to do "this is your," and then the word "day." We're going to need that. All right. So let's get where are my stamp blocks? Here they are. RV Life, teeny tiny table, so things get lost. So there is that stamp, and this one, and then we'll wait to load that. All right, we've got all of our stuff laid out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Berry Burst first, and I'm going to ink up my stamp nicely, and then I'm just going to stamp off in the corner. So I'm just going to kind of figure out, this looks pretty good. I'm going to stamp it. Look how pretty. And then I'm going to stamp off the extra ink so I don't muddy up my cleaning pad. Clean that off. Close this up. Actually, we'll set it aside out of the way so I don't accidentally use it. And now I have the crushed curry. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the crushed curry. And I'm going to try to do this without putting my head too far in your camera way. But I'm just staggering where I already stamped and creating that look. Isn't that neat? That just works out so well. All right, so that is cleaned off. So now I'm going to grab "this is your," and I'm going to stamp that one in our Berry Burst. And I'm going to try to do this straight without putting my head in the camera. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, now I'm going to take that off and grab the word "day." I love that they put these words separate because it allows you to kind of mix and match your wording on the stamp set. So that's really nice. And I'm going to do "day" kind of fun. I'm going to do it at an angle. Okay, this is your day. So that is done. First panel's done. So I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to work on the second panel. On the second panel, I'm going to use, I'm going to close up these first. All right. The second panel, I grabbed the Balmy Blue and the Lemon Lime Twist, but I think I'm going to change the Balmy Blue to Blueberry Bushel. Do I want to do that? Nah, I'm going to keep it Balmy Blue. I kind of like how it looked. All right, so we've got Balmy Blue. So I'm going to grab that stamp again, that pinwheel. Keep losing my word there. And I'm going to do this one in the top because I want to make my pinwheels look all different. So that one's in the top. Clean that off. I like to clean my stamps right away because if I don't, I might accidentally stamp on an ink pad with some other ink and it messes up the pad. So, all right, so now we have the Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of just trying to eyeball without putting my head in your camera. It's harder to do that way, but that looks good. All right. And then this time we're going to stamp "Time to Celebrate" in the Balmy Blue. So, whoops, let's go ahead and put away the word "day" and the other word, and grab "Time to Celebrate." I love how many word options they gave us in the stamp set too. It's nice. You don't always get as many as you'd like to have, you know? So this is good. So "Time to Celebrate." I'm going to try to get this straight. Well, it's a little crooked, but it's okay. It's hard to do this unless I pull it towards me and get in the camera, and I don't think you want to see that. So, all right. And then there's also these little starbursts. So we're going to go ahead and add some of those around. And what I do is I'm doing this in the Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm just going to add them willy-nilly here and there. Whoops. Like that. You know what? I really want to redo this. I really hate that it's crooked. We're going to redo it. Sorry. I can't. I just can't. I've got to have it straight. All right. So we're going to do this again right here. Bear with me. This is the perfectionist in me. I just can't. All right. Go ahead and add that. And then grab that time to celebrate again. See if we can get it straight this time. I'm just going to pull it down for a second. Oh, I'm so much happier with that. Thanks for bearing with me. I just can't. It's got to be straight. All right. And I dropped my stamp. RV life. I love it, but it's got its challenges. Okay. Now we're going to grab that lemon lime twist and go ahead and add these little starbursts. And I'm just adding them here and there, just randomly. Just gives it a little extra fun. Okay, so that piece is done. Clean off my stamp and go on to the third panel. And that is going to be in the berry burst and the lemon lime twist. Actually, berry burst. Actually, not lemon lime twist, crushed curry. All right, so we'll grab the blueberry bushel. I love how nice and bright this is too. Blueberry bushel is a good color. And we're going to put that right there, like that. Stamp off some of that color. Grab the crushed curry. Just got a new crushed curry stamp because my other one was just worn out. I've had it for years. All right. And I had a class when there was a little mishap with, I think somebody got adhesive on a stamp and then stamped on the pad. So the pad had this really weird spot in it that just wouldn't take ink well. So I needed a new one. All right, so then the last thing we have is Happiest Birthday. So we're going to grab that. And we're going to do that in the blueberry bushel. I've got a hair stuck to it. You know, even with my hair shorter, I still get my hair everywhere. All right. I went ahead and saved us the headache and stamped that one off screen. So there's all our stamping for the inside panels. And while we're at it and we have our stamped stuff out, we might as well work on the back panel, right? So I'm going to use the crushed curry and the lemon lime twist. We're going to get this out of the way and we're going to do some stamping. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp one more pinwheel because I want to pull my pinwheels to the back since I have lots of them on the front. Get a little piece of fuzz. All right, so we're going to do that one about right there. And, you know, I think on this one, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green because I want it to be a little brighter. And since all these colors are in that paper, it's just so easy to just use whatever you want because it's probably in the paper. It's really great. I love this full of life paper. All right. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. Okay, so we've got that. And now we're going to add Happy Birthday to You. So, let's see. Where's my happy birthday? Here is Happy Birthday. And To you. All right. So we're going to put away the Granny Apple Green. And we're going to grab that blueberry bushel again. And one more stamp block. All right. So this is Happy Birthday in a fun, happy little font. Let's see if I can get it straight. Good. All right. And then we're going to add To You, and I think I'll do that in Berry Burst. So that way we're pulling lots of the colors from the front onto the back. And it's a lot of fun. So we've got To You in Berry Burst. And I'm going to pull this down. I'm just going to put that right here. There we go. So there's our back. All our stamping is done. So now we're going to finish assembling it. Take this away. Okay. Get all these blocks out of the way. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set that aside a moment. We're going to go ahead and add these, and we're going to add them in the right order. So when you put these three together, you've got This Is Your Day. It's time to celebrate. Happiest birthday. So it kind of has a little story there. I liked being able to do it that way. Now you could make these white panels slightly smaller and layer a piece of Designer Series paper behind them if you wanted to, but I felt like you didn't really need it since we had so much color on this. So I'm just layering these on here. Cover up that ugly side that I did not stamp straight. And see it, as you can see it, the reasoning now, you can kind of see why I put the pinwheels in different locations, so that when we put them on the card, they're not just kind of redundant. They're sort of whimsically placed around the paper. You could also put these three pieces of paper together side by side and overlap your pinwheels. That would probably look really neat too. So there's so much chance for creativity with this set. All right, so there we go. Very cute, right? And let's go ahead and add our back panel. And you want to make sure when you put your front on that you do it the right direction. So this is not upside down. I've done that before. All right, so I'm going to lay that the way it is. So now we're going to be wanting to center this middle panel right in the middle of our card. And then we want to kind of have our score lines sort of in the middle. So what I do is I just eyeball it. You know, what looks straight, what looks centered. That looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be pretty balanced, right? So that looks good. So then I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw a little line so that I know exactly where this is going to go. Okay? All right, so I've got my 4 lines. Got a little piece of lead right there. This pencil erases so well. Okay, so we've got our 4 lines drawn. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a little bit inwards at an angle because I don't want this edge to show. So I'm cutting just to the score line, and I'm going to do the same thing over here at an angle to the score line. And then I'm just going to simply cut on the score line, cut that piece off. So you're going to do that on both sides. And that's so that when you put your panel on, this will be hidden, okay? So let's go ahead and finish the other side. You don't have to notch it, but I found that you're a lot less likely for it to show and have to do a little card surgery if you notch it. And I kind of just stick my scissors right on the crease line. like that. And if it's a little crooked, just trim it. This one's a little crooked. Okay, that looks good. All right, we're gonna get those little pieces out of the way. So now that's what we've got left. So now I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm only going to put it right here on the middle panel. Okay. And now we're going to see we've already cut, so we know exactly where to put this. So now I'm going to lay it down and kind of make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and you know you have it right if you don't see any of your notches. And I'll pick it up and kind of, so that needs to come up a little bit, and that goes there. And if you found that you need to trim, you can trim, but that works pretty good. All right, so now we've got that. So now we need to attach these. So what I like to do is just grab some tear and tape because it's just going to make it super strong. So I've got my tear and tape here, and I'm just going to put that right here and then do another piece over here. You could do 2 layers as well. This is super strong. Okay. And I just give it a good press. And then take your pick tool and you can just peel up the bottom. It makes it super easy. And then just push that down and then do the same thing over here. Pull up that little end, push that down. Okay, watch. Ta-da! Super simple. All right, so that is done. So all we have left is to decorate the front. So let me show you how I did that. I'm only going to decorate this panel. So in your dies, let me move these stamps out of the way. In your dies, you have this piece right here. So this is to create the pinwheel, and I love it because they also added the score lines for the pinwheel to fold it. So to make a pinwheel, you need 2. Now, this card I used 3, which looks beautiful. I am having a little bit of a struggle getting it glued in place though because it is heavier. So this one I actually did 2. So when you die cut them, you've got a pointy end and a scalloped end, okay? So when you die cut them, you're going to fold all your score lines. And it's super easy. You just fold all your score lines in and then give it a good press. Now this one's been scored and unfolded and all that, so it's a little tricky. But you give it a good squeeze like that. And then I like to put a piece of tear and tape on each. Now you're going to need 2 of these, okay? So you do 2 and then you add your tear and tape and then you connect them together that way. So when you connect the 2 together with the tear and tape, you have the circle. And then you want to make sure when you put it together though, the scalloped edges are all in the same spot and the pointy edges are all in the same spot. Otherwise half of your pinwheel is going to be scalloped and half of it's going to be pointy. So I did this one already, and so then you just push it in and look, there's your pinwheel. How cool is that? All right, so you're probably wondering, okay, well, how do you glue it down? So there's also a die in here with a circle, and if you can see, there's a little starburst design that's also etched into it. So I just cut 2 of those in blueberry bushel, and I've tried this a couple ways. I tried it with glue, and I've tried it with tear and tape. I kind of like the tear and tape because it's dry right away. We're going to do tear and tape, but you can do both. You might actually even want to add a little liquid glue too to the inside edges. Maybe we'll try that just to see if that will kind of help it all hold together, because I do have to put something heavy. I have a little candle here that I got at Magnolia Silos when we visited. It's kind of heavy, so I usually put that on top of it and let it set for a little bit to kind of get really glued down. But I'm adding a little bit of tear and tape here. All right, so now I'm going to get my piece, and remember, I like to have my pointy edges out, but you could have either one out. It's inside out right now. when I let it pop up, I let it go inside out. So let's do this again. There we go. Okay. It really is pretty forgiving. So now I'm going to just manipulate it flat like that. Okay. And whoop. Trying to do this on camera is a little trickier. All right, let's get it inside out again. If you do this right away, and you're not talking to somebody while you're doing it, it's really super quick. It's just that I've had this sitting here a while. All right, let's give it a little squeeze there. It got bent. Okay, so now I'm just going to push it all down like that. And mine's been manipulated several times, so that's why it's giving me a little bit of trouble. So while I'm holding that, I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to come over here and push it down right over that circle. Okay? You know what? It might be easier to do it upside down. Let's do it that way. Okay. Now I'm going to put that circle over it. There we go. All right. So that circle's on. Now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue. This is a test, but I think this is going to help. I'm putting a little liquid glue into all the creases, and I'm hoping that will help it all stick together. All right, I'm going to stick my candle here for a second. So I don't want it popping up on me, because you really don't want to wait for me to do that again, right? And now I'm going to put my tear and tape on here. I'm just going to do 3 little pieces. I love tear and tape. I'm glad that they've kept it over the years, because it really is good for adhering something quickly and not having to wait for it to dry, especially when you have something that wants to pop open, and then you can always peel back any little pieces that are stuck. Now I'm going to put that right there. So there's our pinwheel, and it's really sturdy once you get it all together. All right, so now I just want to put this on the front of my card, and I'm just going to, like I said, I've mushed this so many times when I was playing around with it. This is 2 layers, and look how perfect. And the only difference between this card and the other card is I used 3 layers for that one, but I actually think it was easier to do the 2 layers. So you can do whatever you want. It's just how many pleats it has. All right, that's done. So I'm going to flip it over to the back. Look, that side even looks good too. And I'm going to add some liquid glue here, and you could use tear and tape as well. And I'm just going to pop this right on the middle. And while we have this open, we're going to do some embellishing. I have these leftover glossy dots, and they seem to go really well. So I think I'm going to use those. I'm going to use a yellow one right in the center. This is already a bulky card. Now, if you mail this card, it's probably going to need to be in a different kind of envelope, like a padded envelope, and it'll probably have extra postage because it is bulky, and you don't want this to get mushed. It's too cool looking, right? Now I'm going to use these smaller dots over here. There's 3 little sizes, so that looks good. I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add a big one over here. Okay, so our card is done. So here we go. Get our candle out of the way. So here's the card, and then when it closes, look at that. Perfectly closes, and you open it up, and you've got this great saying. Let's try to have it in the camera. So closed, popped open, and then on the back we've got, oh my goodness, I did it. I did exactly what I told you not to do. I put it upside down. So we're going to have to make another panel, but that's okay. I'm just going to pop another piece of paper right over and fix it. I'm human. Look at that. Silly Jilly. All right, we'll fix it. But here's our finished card. Here's the card I did earlier. The only difference is I used 3 panels instead of 2. So you've just got tighter pleats. And I did yay, yay, yay right here. You could add that if you wanted to. I put that there. That's the only difference. And of course, I've got this one the right direction. So there you go. There is the accordion double fold. I hope you enjoy this fold. I think you'll get a lot of use out of it. It's such a fun gift. I'm putting my candle on top of that scallop so it can dry. And just check out the Round We Go bundle. You will not be disappointed. And of course, this Full of Life paper is just so amazing, and it goes really well together. So there is going to be a link below to my cutting instructions and assembly and everything you need to know on the products that I used for this video. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you get that. And let me show you the other 2 samples that I made. They are gorgeous. So this was my inspiration from the online Stampin' Retreat, actually. But I wanted to make this card. It's so pretty. So this was my inspiration card using the country flowers. Look how pretty the back is. So there is that card. And then this is the card that I made for my daughter. She's having a baby in a few weeks, in next month. And this is going to be for her baby shower. Look how cute. It says special delivery. And when you open the card, there's a second little wagon behind the truck that has baby presents. She's having a boy and some flowers. And then you open it up and it's got this pretty scene. And then on the back, it says celebrating. Look, I have glue on it. Got to fix that. Celebrating someone special. And then I carried the flowers over onto the back. Super cute card. And I love when it stands up because it shows a little truck like this. So this is the Truckin' Along bundle. And I love the coordinating stamp, or the coordinating die, or what am I saying? Coordinating punch, because you can punch out additional tires and the little hubcaps. You can punch out the truck, but you can punch out these additional pieces and give it a little 3D look. So really cute set. I look forward to playing with that more. So there are our samples. 3 different looks, totally different color combos, and one great card. So thank you so much for giving me your time today and watching this video. I hope you get a chance to craft today and stamp something amazing for someone you love. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.